here and see. The stream here, blue. Good morning from TradePhantoms.com. What's up, Joe Frank? All right, cool. Let's dive in. Today's date, October 29th, 2024. And this is going to be about a 1 hour stream as usual. Let's go start with credits. That's definitely a Phantom member. All right, I think I got this thing fairly squared away. What's going on, Todd? Yeah, you're becoming very good at that. Just stay safe. You know the deal. All right, cool. Let's dive in. About an hour. It'll be about an hour. I'll give you some quick little pre-market prep routine, TradePhantoms.com, all that kind of good stuff, right? Welcome to the Phantoms that are here, starting the week. And I want to bring your attention to just really briefly we have a couple of news announcements here. We have big earnings week. Okay, big earnings week. I'll pop that up in a moment. I'm actually in a position on PayPal. I'll show that in a moment, discuss that in a moment. But for today, being Tuesday, October 29th, just really quickly, forexfactory.com, pretty simple, kind of lays things out. Filtered this out for most impact, high impact. Point that I'm trying to make here really short and sweet. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, we have consumer confidence and JOLTS job data here for the U.S. So that's a big one there for the most part, and that comes out at 10 a.m. Eastern. So that's about 30 minutes after the market opens, right? The regular trading hours open. So just make sure that's definitely on your radar if you're kind of trading taking any positions or trades right off the open. So that could be something that could be a catalyst to kind of move markets. Okay, it could be fairly quiet too before that happens. Futures are down slightly. You'll notice in a moment. Some for forex traders, currency traders, you can see there's a couple of other things as well. That's a pretty significant movers. Okay, so just keep that in the radar. And then also this Friday, the first of the month for November. Good morning, Jackie. We have non-farm payrolls at the end of the week, so it's going to be a pretty hopefully big week. Also noteworthy as well, a couple of earnings announcements that are coming out. And I don't play every single one, of course. That's kind of almost virtually impossible. So I kind of pick out some of the big ones. I like the big names to play off of. This morning we do have McDonald's coming out. I didn't play that one. That's a big one there. And then PayPal. I did manage to get some PayPal. Okay, I just went bullish for the team. I had mentioned that for the team for Phantoms. Okay, right now PayPal, just real quick. I mean, I'll pull up the chart and all that a bit later as well when I get into the charts. But just a pre-market quote. This is good morning, Joey G. PayPal's been, it's not really much of a mover right now. It was up early in the morning. Then it was down here later in the morning after the earnings came out. Then it was up a little bit about a couple minutes ago, and now it's back down just a little bit. So it's kind of a dud right now. You kind of expect kind of a bigger mover up or down. Usually I haven't played PayPal in a couple of cycles since then. I think one of the last ones that I've had was in the bear market of 2022 when PayPal was just getting crushed down. But we kind of based out. We go through this whole thing called stage 1, 2, 3, 4. Long story short, I'm not going to do it right now. Beyond the scope of this time right now, and I was just kind of going bullish on this. Pretty simple, just long calls for right now. It's not really panning out, right? So I got November 8th. I'll bring this back up in a little bit. November 8th, 100 strike. I get the November 8th, 95, November 8th, 93. So fairly cheap. We got it for about $1.79, 36 cents. And it's not really moving that much right now so far, right? So slight gap down. I mean, I have next week's expiration is the 8th, right? So we have this week and next week. In the event that we kind of like fade higher a little bit, might be able to just squeak out maybe for a small loss than expected. But we'll see. That being said, let me dive back over into this. We do have AMD after the close today. That's a big one there that I might be taking a peek at. And then we have Google as well. Visa, I'll check out Visa. And then another big kind of 2 or 3 here that are kind of on my radar. Microsoft, Meta, Coin, Caterpillar might be decent. And then we have, man, so big week, man, folks. Amazon, Apple, Intel's kind of maybe come back to life. Exxon, so big major week for earnings. I'm just kind of pointing out a couple of the ones that I'm kind of that are kind of on my radar for right now. So for the Phantoms team, we don't have a special session or anything like that later. We're not into the live trade room until tomorrow morning. So therefore, we can definitely roll up our sleeves and do Microsoft, Meta, Coinbase, and any others that you wanted me to check out in tomorrow's session. But today, I'll probably take a peek at AMD and Google, and then I'll just stay close to the chat that we have, and then the Excel sheet that we have to spread trades or to share trades, I should say. Okay. That being said, every minute matters here. So let me just dive right over. As always, let me start off with this really quickly. For some new folks, Phantoms, right? Right, if you're just free, live on YouTube, right? Multiple time frame analysis, demand supply, institutional demand supply, starting from the higher time frames, always top down approach, monthly, weekly, daily, quick little checklist for folks to kind of map out and start their process, right? Orange, yellow, blue is a color code, so anything you see in yellow is associated with monthly. Weekly is going to be yellow, okay? Orange is monthly, weekly, yellow, blue, daily, great. Candlesticks, bullish, location most important, bearish, location most important, bearish candlesticks, and then the liquidity map that is super powerful if you understand this here. Okay, switching over to Thinkorswim. Okay, even though that being said, with the monthly, weekly, daily, I have the S&P as usual. I have the S&P upper left. I have Nasdaq daily time frame upper right, Dow Jones lower left, Russell 2000 bottom right. Pop open the daily time frame of the S&P futures, make this a bit more visible. Okay, again, big earnings week. Let me see what's the best way I can do this. Let me see. I'm going to have to delete a couple of the notes here, unfortunately. But I'm going to keep it long story short here, short and sweet. Bull market still, right? Bull market still. We pulled right. We had inside bars, so a little bit of a break last week. We had kind of 1 or 2 kind of exciting days. Last week, 1023 was kind of a breakout day for the most part. We pulled back into the daily demand zone here. Okay, overshot just a little bit. And then since then, we've just been inside again, right? So, yeah, that's just kind of the state of the market right now, right? There's just really nothing that's really making this market pull back deeper. But always, always keep, always stay diligent, right? So again, I'm gonna just keep a long story short here from Wednesday's, not Wednesday, 1023. What day was that? Yeah, Wednesday, right? Last Wednesday, October 23rd. If you map out the high and the low of that candle, that bar, we're still inside of that, okay? And it's already Tuesday of this week, okay? So again, we have major cap, as I mentioned, a couple minutes ago, we have big cap tech stocks all coming for the most part. The heavy hitters, right, coming out. So that could be used as a catalyst. We got non-farms this Friday. Okay. So all that being said, we have election coming up, a couple days now, sub 2 weeks, right, below 2 weeks. So things are happening here. So just stay as one of our good members mentions, keep your head on a swivel, right? I love that, right? Keep your head on the swivel. So don't get complacent here because we might be having some snaps out of this range. Okay, so get some rest. Make sure you rest it up because things could be happening pretty soon. Okay, for the most part. Nasdaq, same thing. All right, I'll map out the zones. When I go to the smaller time frames. Okay, and on the darker background where you can maybe see a little bit better without all these notes here. Nasdaq, same thing for the most part. It's been sideways here, right? We're still just kind of inside of this gray box. It's getting a mess, right? It's just no advancement, right? We're not really pushing higher. We're not really pushing lower. Okay, slow grind higher, trying to absorb the supply to the left. Okay, and yeah, again, keep a long story short here. All right, we still are we're just kind of like trapped right in here, right? So I have the drawing up here, and so all we're kind of doing here is just going up, down within this range here, okay? Over here at the bottom. So we're just continuing to bob and weave up, down, All right, just kind of giving the macro kind of picture. All right, and we're kind of like right here right now still, right? We have not popped out new all-time highs just yet. All right, so yeah, so just be diligent. You know, QQQs being last Friday, we had a nice trade coming off of here, had an inside hammer bar. All right, we snapped up. All right, and we kind of, you know, the team and I, you know, we did pretty well on that. All right, we ended the week fairly well on that trade. So we got long QQQs. And good morning, Jason. And you know, this was nice. So we you know, caught this move up, and then you know we were selling the exit, coming up into the basically the all-time high supply level for the most part in Qs. Okay, we kind of tagged that right there on Friday. Anyways, I'll get back to QQQs and the ETF and stock in a moment. Right now, just while I'm here, no gap right now on that. A little bit of a red bar. We had a gap up yesterday, you know, fade bar down. We have an unfilled gap right in here, which I'll probably mention in a moment. Going back to futures, however, I will say this. Just be careful here, okay? Because we're in range, right? So just know your lower range, know your upper range. We have supply pair to the left, and we have some demand down here as well. All right, and then I'll keep it short and sweet with the, I'm not going to waste a lot of energy here. You know, Russell 2000, very rangy, very rangy. Okay, has been for quite some time. Kind of like a day trader's market, very hard to get a swing trade working on that or any direction. And we have the Dow Jones. Dow Jones, try to break down just a little bit here. If you notice the Dow Jones industrials, they've been one of the stronger sectors, but money's starting to come out of that sector. We talk a lot about sector rotation, relative rotation graphs, kind of all that. So yeah, keep an eye on that. But you know, Dow Jones over here to the left, we already came down into this level here, and we're trying to absorb that. And so you know, keep your eyes peeled for Dow Jones in the event that it does crack down just a little bit more. It's a little more weaker, okay, than the other four, right? So this morning, I will say though, the Russell 2000 is the weakest, down 0.63%, Dow Jones 0.45%, NASDAQ's flat for the most part, and we have S&P down 0.2%. So Russell and Dow, the point that I'm trying to make here is a bit more on the weaker side of things. I'm gonna switch over to the darker background, which is probably gonna be a lot better for new folks here. I got monthly on the left, weekly, daily on the right, okay, monthly, weekly, daily. Smaller time frames here, 60-minute time frame upper left, 30-minute time frame bottom left, 5-minute here, 2-minute on the right. Open up the 60-minute time frame, 1 hour time frame, S&P futures, okay, Globex session, great space here. Globex high, represented by this blue line, which is about right here, give or take, okay, 58, you know, 69-ish. Right, 70-ish. And we have Globex low, which we just kind of put in a couple minutes ago, not too long ago, right here. 58.48, give or take. Might be a tick or two off. You can check that with your platform there. And what we want to do is, this is some notes that we had for credit spreads. Good morning, Mark. Globex, you know, we're going to look for high quality level of demand, okay, institutional level of demand. For the most part, you want to have it prime and nice and fresh. If I look down and left, okay, we don't really have much prime and fresh levels here. So again, we've been in range. This range here snapped. If you notice, once we are in range, and we snap, we kind of break through the, you know, for lack of a better term right now, crappy levels, right? Levels that are not prime, not fresh, right? We break through them. So the point that I'm trying to make right now is, if you notice down here, you'll probably notice that we have some levels right below Globex lows, you know, here, these little wicks, et cetera, okay? But just remember, if we do open up with some volatility here, okay, these ones are gonna be very challenging to work off of, okay? So that's the point that I'm trying to make here, to keep a long story short, okay? If you wanna look for some fresher demand level, okay, or prime, I should say, okay, you're probably gonna be looking down here, you might wanna write this down here at the, 50, Joe Frank, it's been swiping, right? So make sure, folks, don't get complacent. A lot of folks, what happens with trading is when you get into these kind of, especially in indexes, right? When you get in these these kind of like inside bar ranges, right? Not really moving up, not really moving down, but getting range, and you get complacent. You start picking off some levels that are fairly close, not prime, not fresh, kind of wiki, right? Test of this, and then you start getting them. You start taking them again because you're like, oh well, it's not breaking out, and then there's an opening day, right? Opening day, and it just swipes, right? And then what it tries to do, what the markets do, is it fishes out higher quality levels of demand, okay, or supply in the event that we swipe to the upside, right? So that being said, okay, I would probably want to pin out here the 57.96 and then 57.70, okay? All right, so this one down here, 57.70, is not going to be aggressive. So this one is going to be demand, and this is going to be what we would call more prime, okay? All right, and I don't have enough time to go through what makes a prime level. Okay, if you go through, Mr. Black does some stuff on YouTube and TikTok and all that too, where he'll talk a lot about that. And then of course we have this thing called essentials, which takes you through the step-by-step process to identify that. All right, so I'm gonna keep it short and sweet here for right now to keep it moving. So 57.70, and then we have, I'll even just pin this area here too, 57.87, which I already have it pinned right there. Okay, I did make a note that was confluenced with the 20 period moving average, but that kind of pinned up, that moved up just a little bit there. Okay, so one of the things that you might want to do too as well that I speak more about when I have more time, but I'll do it just really quickly here. If I look at the the 57.70 handle and S&P futures, this level was developed at October 8th, essentially right off the open. Okay, right there. Okay, October 8th. If you look at the date right there, you might not be able to see it, but because of the font. But the basically October 8th, about 9:30 a.m. Eastern, give or take, off the open, right? So one of the things that you could do here is if I go to say SPY or SPX, okay, we can go to October 8th, okay, and that's right there, okay, off the open, right? See that right here, October 8th. If I kind of pin this, boom, right there, October 8th, after the open. So this level right here, as you can see, it's a bit more prime. Okay, a bit more prime or fresh, right? So remember we had mapped this level out, okay? And I was like, oh, this is fresh, this is prime. If we come down there, okay, and this was a level, there's a long story on this level here, okay, where well, I don't even want to get into it right now. Where I had some credit spreads in there, okay, and that ended up, had some monthly view up confluence there. It tested everybody's patience, okay, because we came deep into this level. SPX swiped a little bit below it, okay, always talking about liquidity fishes, and then it worked out, right? So, anyways, the point that I'm trying to make, now that's not prime anymore, right? That's not prime anymore. So this one, this level is, I should say, this level over here to the right is a retest to this level, okay? Now we can still use this as a level, especially for today, right? If a gap fill potentially out down here, okay, or I should say unfilled gap. All right, right there, SPY. I'm kind of getting locked into SPYs right now, which is cool, I guess. 50, is it 58.90, give or take? All right, unfilled gap. That would be for today. This could potentially fill today. All right. But the point that I was trying to make coming into this chart, coming here for a reason, that comes in about, just round up to 579, give or take, right? But go to the actual close. Monthly view up right here. All right. So this level still kind of holds with those notes there. All right, for now, last week's low, okay? We were the last week's low when we were taking this off here, okay? Some credit spreads. And then, so the point that I was trying to make here was that this is the better prime level down in here, okay? Prime IBI, okay, impulse basing impulse. All right, let me put a price point on that for y'all, give or take 571, let's round up 572, fair enough. All right, is it gonna happen today? I don't know, okay? But with everything that I just mentioned with earnings, et cetera, okay, this could be the level here. We have last month's VWAP, all right, as well down in here. All right, so just map out your levels, folks. Okay, map out your levels. This is not super prime down in here. All right, I don't have enough time to go through all of this. so on and so forth. All right, but for today, we can get some play off of maybe this level here, okay, and then of course we have some supply up here too. So we were talking about this in the trade room last Friday. All right, and I'm on a 60-minute time frame of the SPY. All right, just for some intraday action. Last week's high up here. All right, sight gap down so far. So we have a sight gap down. Okay, so we have a gap. Well, if we were to open right here in about 20 minutes, give or take, we'd have an unfilled gap here and then an unfilled gap here. So pretty cool. All right, I like days like that. All right, this is the pre-market quote right there. All right, so moving on. So that level, all that being said there, in that little field trip that we went there on the yellow school bus, to just say that, okay, 5770 in the S&P futures right over here, October 8th, okay, is equivalent to this level here that is prime in SPY, okay, which is 572, okay, in SPY, okay, more prime. Alrighty then, moving on. All right. Globex short. Let's see, we have up here, level here, be careful with that one. Again, I want to be super conservative with the shorts, okay? So, I have this, I'm going to get up here, I'm not sure, right? But I'll just keep that, right, 59.04, okay, 59.15, give or take. Okay, we could have some liquidity swipe, and if we get up here, some liquidity swipe, and then, come back down, mean reversion, okay? But this is closer to all-time highs, okay? So just be careful. Still have to be a bit more cautious shorting this market, okay? This thing is just on a rampage still right now, okay? Now, for you folks, with this market drops, we have some insurance. Okay, we have some insurance on, hedge puts, all that kind of stuff, right? And that's definitely beyond the scope of the time for right now. All right, and so NASDAQ. Okay, say the same thing. All right, range. Okay, range. I think tech sector is one of the stronger sectors here this morning. Let me check, verify that information. Not quite. Pretty dry this morning, to be honest with you. XLK down to XLU, all the sectors. Yeah, it's just pretty dry. Not even worth shouting about here. But let's just stick to the process here. Globex high, Globex low. Let me move this gray box over here. It's kind of annoyingly in the way. And this market needs a breakout because these lines are just getting insane here. I like to keep notes on the chart for teaching purposes and trolls. Globex high, Globex low. We were talking about this level up here. Great, whatever. Came up, deeper in. Yes, came back down. Okay. Demand zone below Globex low. Do I have a demand zone right below Globex low? I mean, we do. Be extremely careful with this one. This one might be for a little pick off. All right, I don't want to put a price on that. Be extremely careful with that. But if NASDAQ does drop, okay, there's really nothing here. Not much here. Still, we'd have potentially coming down here, 20,100. It just dipped into this area. It just dipped into the 20,100 right down in here, and then took off. So there still could be, if I could speak English, which I barely can, there still could be some unfilled orders down here that could be absorbed in the event that we come down here. Okay. Again, remember, there's some of y'all might be seeing levels in here and here and here and here and here. Great, but again, as I've been mentioning, if this thing opens up, okay, these trash levels here could easily just get swiped, okay, and you don't have to look too hard back in the back of time to notice that back in 1023, okay, to the day of 1023, we opened up, okay, we had levels here, okay, and went whoop, swiped right below, like it was not even there, okay, and then it came into what, prime level right over here, all right. So you have to keep that in mind, folks, okay? This was tested, swipe, okay? And then where did it stop, okay? At an impulse, prime, fresher level, right in there. That's what I'm talking about right there, okay? All right, so stay diligent, okay? That being said, I'll keep it a long story short here. We can probably delete this. We're making a note here about stop loss fishing with my good friend Santo. Remember, he's the man. And I have this level down here, 19,990. Okay, a lot of words there. I highlighted this in pink, so it kind of sticks out, and that is due to the fact that if you look at it here in pink, you might not be able to see it, but there's a little bit of a drop basing here. Not the greatest in the world, but we have some daily stuff here below all this wicks, below these wicks down in here. Okay, so again, there's not much really in terms of below price, prime below price. So that's always a little cautious. You have to be a little bit cautious when that happens, because in the event that this market does crack and VIX spikes, you could have a little bit more of a deeper drop. Okay, I'm not trying to put anybody into fear. Okay, typically, election coming up and all that kind of stuff. Markets are typically bullish anyways. All right, but just be cautious. All right, Globex trap. I mean, we can reference these areas here. Still. Globex trap bearish. All right, Globex high here. I mean, can we use these levels here? I mean, we could. Just be careful. All right, there is a level up here. There's a deeper level of supply up here on NASDAQ futures. So you might want to go into, I don't have enough time right now, but you might want to come up here higher, closer to the all-time high in NASDAQ futures and QQQs above 20,720 to potentially get some Globex trap shorts up here. All right, so I'd say G trap short. But you're gonna find a fresh IBI supply up here. Okay, and this is inside daily, weekly, or I should say close to the all-time high. All right. Again, if I'm going too fast for some folks, okay, just kind of, we have, join the team, you'll learn a lot more about this, okay? I exclusively talk about Globex traps inside of the Phantoms room there. All right, gold, oil. I'll do oil first. Keep it short and sweet because oil coming back low range. A couple more days I got monthly on the left, weekly in the middle, daily on the right? And a couple more days before we close this monthly bar. Okay, and oil right now is putting in a topping tail here for oil. So we try to rally out from this monthly range that it's been in for years now, and the buyers just cannot hold this up. Okay, just cannot hold this up. So, however, just be diligent, right? This range has been going on. I think this chart might be a little bit more cleaner. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet, or at least try to. By the way, we're getting super long Bitcoin. Come on, where's oil? Where's oil? Where's oil? All right, here's years and years and years and years of data on oil. Okay, so basically since, January of 2023, this purple line right here, all right, this thing has just been stuck. This is January 2023. Okay, it's about to be 2025, right? So since January 2023, this darker line right here as a reference, okay, as you can see, oil has just been stuck. Okay, we have this massive monthly demand zone, right? What was once supply here, now demand over here to the right, okay? And then we dip down, all right? And then we rallied up, okay? Had some monthly highs here, put in some monthly supply here, and then we just in this gray box, we've just been stuck in this for years, 2 years now, right? It's been so long. All right, so it seems like it might want to break lower. Okay, it seems like we do have a topping tail close potentially this month if we come lower. So just make sure you're mapping out your monthly lows. If I wanted to be a bit more inside of the zone and a bit more precise, okay, there's we can lean against this little lower end of this monthly range right in there. I'll just make this green. Okay, and that comes in at about, I'm going to reference this on the other futures charts, okay, because this is the CFD on it, but down here, lower monthly range, go down to about March 2021 low, okay, March 2021 low, April 2021 low, all right, and there could be a liquidity sweep right below here, all right, I'll make a note of that, all right, and if I have more time, I'll speak a little bit more about this concept. And I referenced the, what did I say, March, April 2021 low. All right. So there could be a nice little liquidity sweep right below there. All right, because there's open space below here, and people that don't understand liquidity, like, oh, if this breaks, it's gonna go lower, go lower, go lower, go lower. Look at all that open space, and they get swiped. Okay, because remember, this came in here, 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, yes. Okay, so we go lower. Okay, below these little monthly lows here, I'd want to, right? You might be able to get a little a nice little sweep here. Okay, so yeah, I'd reference that. All right, coming down into the smaller time frames here for today on the 60-minute time frame. All right, monthly time frame is my favorite. We still have not broken the Globex, I'm sorry, this monthly range, right? I had mentioned that, you know, for quite some time now, that this monthly level, low range, and I had 67.50, you know, pinned, right over here, okay? And you know, the low there was 66.33. And you know, that worked out great, whatever. Okay, pretty simple. There's an IBI closer to the monthly low range. Okay, right there, boom, worked out. Came in again, worked out. But if you notice, we're not really getting a rally out of here. Okay, and that monthly close that might be happening in a couple of days is a topping tail, right? We have a you know, this is a gap due to expiration. Okay, but yeah, so Globex high, you know, we can still reference this area here, and I had this up here referenced as well. And you know, liquidity sweep worked out, whatever. Might have not have worked out. I don't. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. It's just business. Okay, but yeah, that 72.25 that's been pinned there for quite some time is right now the thing that's kind of holding this down for the most part. Okay, not fresh right here. We have a couple levels up here, so just investigate this level down in here lower. Okay, you know, I don't have enough time to talk about the IBIs inside of here. All right, but I gave you kind of a bigger reference point for a potential liquidity sweep in the event that we do continue to swipe lower. Okay, gold. Damn, I got 10 minutes. Holy smokes. Gold futures. Macro bull. Oh my God. Relentless, right? We had inside bar, inside bar, inside bar, inside bar. We're about to break this inside bar from 1023, potentially. So gold fixing to make a new all-time high. Okay, which shouldn't surprise anybody. We've been referencing these demand zones here, yada, yada, yada. All right, Globex high, Globex low. Everybody doing good in gold. Everybody should be doing good. All right, just for reference demand zones, right? You know, long story short, I mean, Globex trap lower down here in the event that we get down lower here. I mean, you have to almost take this. You have to, you have to. For Globex trap lower here, be careful shorting this. Okay, it's in the abyss. All right, it's in the abyss. So try not to get in front of a train, right? So just be careful if you're trying to short this. You know, God bless your soul. Hope it works out for you. But you have no reference to the left, okay? Because we're going to be popping probably new highs here for gold futures potentially here today, right? We're a couple points off of that right now, 2-3 points off of that. All right, and gold money is just flowing into it. So, you know, that being said, you know, I have weekly down here. All right, you know, this would be great if we have a deeper pullback here. The question is when, where, and why is it going to happen? Is the question, right? So we just have to be patient on that. So anybody who knows options, you can start to sell some puts. You know, I always have sold puts on GLD. Okay, for the most part. But yeah, we would have to wait for a bigger pullback on the monthlies, weeklies, and dailies to engage long-term swings. So just be diligent up here and pick off your demand zones and positive CFGs to continue this long. Okay, and as you can see, not even the greatest levels in the world have been coming down, and it's just kind of finding its foot, finding its basing, finding its foundation, and then boom, here we are, a couple points away from all-time highs. Okay. All right, let me switch over, transition a bit here to stock, options, equities. All right, that was just futures, S&P, NASDAQ, gold, and oil. S&Ps, SPYs. Okay, as mentioned, we're gonna have a slight gap down. All right, inside day yesterday, snooze fest, right? For the most part, we got some movement though, right? We got some movement. At least we have some movement. That's a good thing about this range that we are in right here. At least we're getting some movement. I will say inside of here. So that's good. That's all you ask for as a trader is some movement for the most part. Yeah, so Friday's bar. Friday was a day. It was bullish, it was bearish, it was calm down sideways. It was awesome, right? If you know what you're doing. So Friday's high, Friday's low. Yesterday being Monday here, this candle, I'm on the daily. I was inside of Friday's high, Friday's low. So I would still reference that Friday high, Friday low, right? Because that's what's called the mother bar. Okay, so yesterday being an inside day, the Friday high, Friday low is a major reference point for right now because that's what's called the mother bar. Okay, inside day yesterday. All right, we have that unfilled gap right over here. Okay, as mentioned, pre-market quote right there. Okay, so we have an unfilled gap. I would also reference, if we do break Friday's low here. All right, keep that in mind. We have a couple of daily lows down in here too. We have monthly VWAP down in here. All right, so there's some stuff here. Just pick off your levels. Stay patient. Okay. QQQs. Oh, sorry, VIX. VIX slightly higher today, up. Sub 2%. VIX up, market down. VIX down, market up. Since again that Wednesday 1023, that was the bigger move that we had. Okay, we're still on the VIX standpoint. We are still inside of that bar. Okay, so if you notice, the VIX has been kind of holding some bids here. I don't have enough time to talk about why that's happening right now. Vol up, market up, but to keep it short and sweet and simple, we map out VIX both on the longer term and on the shorter term here. I'm small time frame here. Globex high, Globex low, or overnight high, overnight low in VIX. All right, if the VIX continues to fade higher, that could be more bearish. If the VIX, it's neutral, it's neutral. Okay, if the VIX comes down and remains or sustains down, okay, that could be more bullish for the market. So it's opposite, inverse correlation. Okay, so we'll see VIX is on a nice little steady uptrend overnight. All right, we'll see if that continues, however. Okay, if that continues. All right, QQQs, talked a little bit about this already. All right, unfilled gap. Couple of them down here, itemized A, down in here, monthly VWAP. Okay, so this level right here is down here. A is going to be a decent one there. Okay, because that is a confluence with the monthly VWAP orange there. Okay, an unfilled gap. All right, and it's not the greatest level in terms of primeness, but it's better than anything up here. Okay, because this has all got swiped out. Okay. So that's why we grade these C minus, C, B, swiped out, okay? And then came right back up. Then we got long, great, that's old news now. No gap here in NASDAQ, okay? But there is an unfilled gap right here from that Thursday to Friday, which our team caught, okay? Good job, right? That was a monster trade, right? Took options, they were up like 400, 500%, pretty nice, okay? So just stay diligent there, right? We have all-time high on Qs right here, as mentioned. All right, IWM, small cap, a bit more weaker. Inside gap, I would have liked this better if it took out this green bar, but I'd keep this on my radar for some short exposure, assuming it just doesn't fly up to the upside. Man, bonds, this is my long-term portfolio, but these are getting, thank God you don't buy highs, okay? So I'll talk a little bit about this with the team when I have a little more time. So much to cover. Apple. There's a race between Apple, Microsoft, and NVIDIA. Race to the first, $4 trillion company. Kind of nuts. By the way, NVIDIA earnings coming out, they're probably going to tag that 4 trillion. NVIDIA, I would not be surprised if the headlines is NVIDIA takes over Apple as one of the biggest stocks. So yeah, Jolt at 10 a.m. We have mentioned that. Charlie Quinn, thank you for that, sir. Keeping us alerted. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he's making up a great point too, right? If you don't want to trade the open, let things kind of calm down a little bit. That's always a thing. No, Charlie, all good. No apologies, brother. Right? Any note is a good note, especially regarding news. Yes, sir. Good to see you, brother. So Apple, slight gap down. All right, Apple. Apple's Apple, right? Close to all-time highs. Poked a new all-time high. All right. Yeah, Joe Frank, there's so much stuff going on with that. So just be diligent. But it's a good time. Bonds down, rates up. So, the bond market's telling us that that the Fed's probably not going to be cutting the end of this year. But again, I would need more time on that to discuss that. Amazon, be careful with Amazon. Still in its range. We got earnings coming up. So, earnings on Google and Amazon might be the thing or the catalyst that finally breaks out Amazon and Google. All right, Google. If you are going to be playing earnings, you have to put it on today. I'm going to be getting probably just a bit more bullish on Google. All right, a little bit of a squeeze. I don't have enough time right now to speak about it, but we're above most of the VWAPs and fades, things like that. Monthly, weekly, daily up. A little bit of a head and shoulders here, which it was pretty cheesy, but it is what it is. Left, right here, here. Okay, so it could potentially break to the upside. So I'm probably going to be leaning more bullish on that. Okay, Tesla, Monster on this. Caught the earnings on this. So far, this is the best earnings play out of the two that I've taken so far. PayPal, it's three. PayPal, CR, XM, and Tesla. MVGO. Interesting. I wanted to see if AVGO can come down into this monthly view up down in here. We have an unfilled gap here. This would be good for a nice little swing trade. Not happening today, most likely. No gap, or inside gap. So just be patient today, folks. In the past couple of weeks, October has been quite interesting, to say the least. I'm pretty experienced. And this was probably, arguably, one of the most odd Octobers that I've seen. So just stay diligent. All right. Your skill set and your patience discipline really comes out when things are not lined up. Microsoft, so not really much gaps to play with. AMD earnings tonight, and there's PayPal. So it actually opened up down. All right, kind of sifted it out. So I'm just wrong on this. Where's it down? 6%. Let me see if I can, I'll come back to that in a moment. Let's see if I can find a little something here for the intraday for us here. All right, there it is. Let me check internals really briefly. Let's get some advanced declines. Too early on that. Advanced declines negative 1,300. Yeah, so PayPal was up, down, but finalized here, gap down. Just take a peek at those. For the record, we don't have losers here. So yeah, for the most part, they're cooked there. All right. Bitcoin up. Valdi first bar, not closed yet, negative 3-to-1 ratio, a little bit extreme. VIX popped up just a little bit on the overnight. All right, this is loading here. So we got Apple, one of the weakest. We got IWM. One of the weaker one. IWM definitely one of the weaker one here. I'm catching a small bid right now. Let me see. So I'm gonna be a little patient on this. Let's see, XOM seems like it might want to break down. Let me check this on the higher time frames. Tough spot on dailies on XOM. Amazon. It's kind of annoying because we just have this unfilled gap here. It's one of the weaker ones though. This morning, SPY's trying to break down here. All right, if you want to try to take a shot here at SPY's, just want to be cautious on that gap fill for some puts. All right, so I'll pick up the say 578 put here really quickly here on some SPY's. Still be cautious with this trade, especially with the news coming out, right? So let me see, SPY's, a little bit of a crackdown here. 78, going for about $1.23. So the 78 strike put day trade on say SPY's. $5.78 strike. This did today's expiration, and just got filled at $1.26. Looks like they gave me. IWM, small cap. So you just have to be a little fairly diligent with this one here. I'll just keep that line there. All right, the caveat that I don't like about it is we are coming down into this area here, so just be careful. You know, VIX on highs right now. Yes, Nvidia's down today, but macro bull. All right, remember we have news. So I'm being a little bit patient with y'all because it looks like this market wants to just be red, but come to some levels very early. Okay, keep an eye on that VIX, as always. All right, first impulse move up off the open. If that sustains, that'll be better. All right, IWM here. I'm on the 2-minute time frame, small, very small. Off the open, nice little red bar there, but no fall through so far. So my phantoms would know this if so the only position I got rolling right now intraday is long SPY's, right? But if this thing gets taken out, we might be able to get some fall through here, okay? SPX super short, SPY's good. Let me see Visa. Visa's a macro picture, monthly, weekly, daily up. You know, off the 20 here, so I want to be careful with that one. And that's the challenge with the past couple of weeks, folks, is we've been in macro bull up, and you know, markets are high, and we have slight little fade downs. Let me see, Microsoft trying to be one of the weaker ones. You know, SPYs are up a little bit there, a couple cents there. Hey, folks, be patient today. Daily view up. Even if we get a little swipe below Friday's low, a TP there. Geez, let me see. Bitcoin on fire. Y'all long bit. All right, I gave that to the chat yesterday. Well, we've been talking about this on October 4th. But yeah, I added even to this little baby account here. Yeah, this is looking good. All right, Bitto, iBit, all the Bitcoin. All right, so PayPal looks like it's going to be a loser. Yeah, you know, PayPal's a loser. All good. We got AMD, Google coming up. See, Amazon is kind of cracking down, trying to crack down a little bit here. See, WM not following through so far. Man, so NVIDIA earnings are not until later. AMD's up tonight. But I'm looking at this pullback in NVIDIA. I'm looking at my chops on it. I'm liking the pullback before earnings. Get the rising 20 here, weekly snap here, retest on the other side. So that comes in. So I'm liking this pullback on NVIDIA. I would love it to come back even more. All right, just giving y'all some, since the day trading action right now is, it looks like a bloodbath of red, right? But be careful, folks. VIX on highs. But this is a nice area of interest. Pre-earnings. I might sneak into NVIDIA pre-earnings. It's not until later in November. So like the 130 handle. But we don't need to discuss that too much right now. All right, wow. QQQs are actually falling through lower. What's Google doing? Google Weeklies did give us a little noteworthy gap up for the week. Last month's bar on monthlies on Google is a nice hammer bar, beautiful off the 20. Impulse correction impulse on the monthlies here, still beautiful uptrend. Been basing for several weeks. So let me see if this is squeezing a bit here for Google. The day trade stuff, be careful, folks. Everything's red, but you can see there's no follow through on the downside. All right, even those SPY puts right now, they were up a couple cents, now they're down a couple cents. Yeah, that monthly hammer bar is wild, as what the kids would say these days. But wild, but base break. The challenge is, I mean, this looks, I mean, if this thing wants to go, it could potentially go. I want to see if it's squeezing a bit. It should be in a squeeze. Oh yeah, daily squeeze. Weekly gap up. So I need a little more time on this to do my due diligence. Now those SPY puts are down, what, 20 something odd cents there. See, you can no follow through on that, right? For the most part. That's why, you know, it seems like this market was just gonna dump down, and there's no follow through, right? Tesla re-engagement is gonna be decent down in here. Tesla's in my long-term portfolio, folks. I've been talking about this for a long time now. It's a sneaky AI play. All right, I'm just gonna cut these SPY puts here, just because you know, just because there's not really much right now. I'm gonna probably focus. I'll see after news, right? I'm not gonna be able to be with y'all, but all right, that's just a cut there. 88. I'm probably gonna focus my efforts for the next 15, 20, give or take, on some earnings plays, and then see if the tape kind of opens up. All right, I just cut it. You know, flip long, you know, potentially, you know, it was, you know, you got VIX up. So if VIX continues to kind of fade down, you know, maybe we'll get some long play, but we'll get some news, right? Yeah, GLD up. If you get long GLD, gold all-time highs. Base break. So yeah, we can work on that. I'll just give you some insight right now. I'll give you some insight on Google real quick as well, and then you know, I'm already a minute over the time. Just make sure you have no 10 o'clock news, okay? Look at this GLD. I'm looking at June. I was in this June, looking at some later dated options expirations there. For a day trade, you know, this is nice. You know, probably should have just focused on this a bit more. Long positive COG here, positive COG here. Not bad. It's in the abyss. The options are not even issued from 259 higher. Crazy, because gold is just on fire. But yeah, the 255, that's going for about, what, 95 cents there? Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. What's the implied vol on Google? It's up there. Honestly, what I'm looking to do on Google right off the cuff, right off the bat, just looking at it really quickly, I haven't done my due diligence and risk and all that just yet. I need more time on that. But I would love to own Google even lower, right? I was mentioning even when we came down here, I was selling puts. I was actually hoping that it came down to this gap fill down in here. So I had just massive sold puts on Google. So now we've implied high vol, so on pre-earnings. So I'm probably just gonna be selling some puts right off the cuff, you know, down in here. I need more time to fish out if the deal is gonna be good or not based on margin requirement, I should say, for some sold puts. and probably gonna be just selling some puts, willing to own in the event that Google does kind of gap down. All right, and then I'm probably looking to just probably go single leg calls up here potentially for the squeeze break higher if it happens. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll, I get the put sells down in here. All right, but so PayPal wrong on that. I made the decision. I pulled the trigger on it. Right. So far, DXM, 50 cents there. PayPal lost. Not too crazy there. $1.79, 79, $1.07, 79 cents, 36. All right. So I mean, those expire next week, but it's done. It's cooked. It's good. All right. All right. But we got bigger, better ones. I wasn't gonna do it, but I did it. I did it. I stayed out of McDonald's there, and then so we got AMD, Alpha, Google, and so we got some big ones here coming up, as mentioned, right? So on to the next here. On to the next. So as long as you keep the risk fairly small, you know that you're comfortable risking the money on the earnings. It's kind of a coin flip. I don't like to trade 50-50, things like that, right? But so far, I put a little position on DXCM for like 50 cents. So, that's like down 50 cents, no big deal. And then, Tesla was the big one that we caught that I'm happy about. All right, PayPal so far wrong. All right, $1 here, 70 cents there. All right, Google. Let me just see something real quick for Google. You can see SPYs are fairly choppy. Let's take a peek here. Google. Expect to make a move, plus or minus 13. Oh wow, Google 180. I mean, potentially, this is within the range of market make a move. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but 182s, unfilled gap. Let me see what that looks like. Fairly low risk if you go to November 8th expiration, because the implied vol on the November 1 is going to be 88, so implied vol is more normalized, about what, 30 to 40, give or take. So if you do the November 8th, you'll have less implied vol exposure. $182 half, those are going for about what, $2. You might be able to get these cheaper for today potentially if you wanted to go single leg long call on that. 23 delta. If you're bearish, which you also could be, usually I'll do both sides because you could be bullish or you could be bearish, right? 20 delta would be about what, the 157.13 or 157 half. And that would be within the expected range. Yeah, so I need more time on this, but Google and AMD, definitely on my radar. All right, just gotta keep it moving. Usually around earnings, I take about what, maybe 5 to 10 earnings plays, give or take, and some of them you're right, some of them you're wrong. All right, AMD. AMD's kind of been stuck in range. Last week was a nice little hammer bar close too. So the charts are setting up bullish on these plays here. AMD looking good for a little day trade here this morning too. AMD long call day trade. Positive COG. Implied vols super high on this because of earnings. So you're gonna be spending a lot of money here on AMD. Massive open interest. Looks like there's a lot more on the call side. Yeah, skews long call, AMD. Doesn't mean it's gonna gap up, but this is AMD open interest for. I just picked the next kind of 3 series, this Friday, next Friday, then the monthlies for right now, just for an earnings play. Almost a 2-to-1 skew on the call side here. You can see that represented by the open interest on this. So it'll be interesting. I'm not looking to buy the November 1st because implied vol is going to crush, and that's 2 times implied vol, so that's nuts. So I might even want to look for maybe the November 8th or even the November 15th on these. Let me see. Just another one that I might just go kind of like I did similarly in Tesla. You know, PayPal DXCM, a little bit more of like a little bit more of a, it's kind of a YOLO play. PayPal was less of a YOLO play, but Tesla, if you were in the Phantoms group with Tesla, how I was working with Tesla, which was like a real trade. I'd say SPX, that question there. I missed the name, but I would say SPX or SPY if you're gonna compare. So I'm going to be doing probably the same thing in Google and AMD for the most part, right? Just brainstorming right now. I got the whole day to kind of figure out exactly what I want to do in terms of risk that I did in Tesla here. Sell puts, buy some calls, buy some debits, maybe put on a slight little hedge, you know, a cheap little debit for a put in the event that I have some kind of hedge if it gaps down on me. Okay. So something like PayPal, I just went, okay, it's not even worth my time as much. Okay, I just go single leg call, wrong on that. But Tesla, the big names, I like the big names, just me personally, right? So we got AMD, right? I'm going to be playing these 2 here. Definitely Microsoft, Coin, Amazon, Apple. And that's probably what I'm going to be looking at here for right now. All right, that's my time for right now. If you want to, you know, somebody said Netflix. I mean, I think it's been after earnings. I was a bit more bullish on this. I was traveling. I did not catch this. I was a bit more bullish on this. It's on recording there. But I'm not shouting about it because I didn't put risk on the table, right? So it doesn't matter. So, I mean, for day trading, just be careful because it's still down. Implied vol is still a little bit high on this. So you want to be careful. Today's inside day. It's just after earnings, it's just kind of calmed down a little bit up here, right? So day trading, just be careful day trading here today, folks. All right. On Friday, things were like beautiful. Like, there was so many trading setups that we couldn't even handle it in the trade room. Today is the opposite of that. So I'm going to focus on, I got my eyes on the charts here. I'll focus, if I see something I like, I'll take it, of course. But for the most part, I'm going to be planning some earnings plays, and that's it. All right, does that make sense? All right, so my time's done. I'll get news in a couple minutes there. All right, if this is something that you're interested in, if you're really, really new here, all right, go to TradePhantoms.com. Okay, click that register button, and it'll take you to a page here where you can put your name, email, on the reason being on October 31st, 7 p.m. Eastern. If you're not trick-or-treating, okay, you'll get you can come join a class, about 90 minutes, give or take, hosted by Mr. Black and Mr. Green, give or take. And then here's what you'll learn. There's an agenda here, right? All markets, all right, stocks, futures, forex, options, even crypto. All right, if you're just starting out trading a smaller account, great. If you're looking to manage some long-term wealth, also great. So kind of a one-stop shop for everybody, right? Trick or treat, right? Plenty of everything, plenty of candy for everybody, right? No matter where you are in your learning curve as a trader. Okay. That being said, I'm out. God bless. Take care. Trade safe. Okay. Again, we have a big earnings announcement, so just make sure that you're staying diligent. And as we say in Phantoms, stay close to the tape. Trade tape. No thoughts, no feelings. Okay. Cut losers, ride winners, and stay close to that tape, folks. God bless. Take care. Blue out.